The basics of Melachot on Shabbat are very important for us to understand. I'm going to review some of those really quickly for us to make sure that everyone understands where they come from. The Torah tells us, both in Yisrael V'Brot as well as other places, this would mean the second one, Shemor Yom Shabbat Kadsho, Kashet Tzivitcha Hashem Elokecha. It says, keep or guard Shemor the Shabbos. It doesn't mention anything about Malacha. Where we really see Malacha come up for the first time is Shechidrim Taseh Malacha Yom Hashvi Lechem Shabbat Kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton LaHashem. Malacha Yumat. Right? If we do break Shabbat, we do a real Malacha, whatever that word means. Let's see what that means. It is actually a capital punishment. It is a capital offense. The person is killed. This is where it mentions this. The concept of Malacha is mentioned right next to the building of the Mishkan. It's mentioned right beforehand, actually, to teach us, as Rashi says, Hiktim lehem hazharat Shabbat, the prohibitions of Shabbat, and keeping Shabbat, and not to do Malacha, is taught right before the Tzivoy Melechat HaMishkan, right before the Malacha of the Mishkan, Lomar she'eno dochet Shabbat, to teach us that Shabbat comes first. Shabbat is more important than building the Mishkan. As important as the Mishkan is, it does not push off Shabbat, and the Malacha is not allowed on Shabbat in building the Mishkan. That teaches us that the Malach that were involved in building the Mishkan, specific 39 acts, were also the Melachot that are not allowed on Shabbat. These are the 39 Melachot, these Mishnayot. We are going to learn all of them more in depth afterwards, but this is going to be a concept of Malacha in general for now. So the Melachot are those 39 categories that we used to build the Mishkan on any given day that they were building, not on Shabbat. If they're the things you don't do on Shabbat, those are the malachot that you don't do it for all of Shabbat. That's for all weeks. And Av Malachot is the main category, the exact action that was done in the Mishkan. There's also something called the Toldot. The Toldot are Malacha Midda'araita. They are a Torah level Malacha, but they're not the exact same act. They are either similar to the Malacha or they work toward the same goal as the Malacha. An example is that when you thresh wheat, when you take wheat, the kernels out of the shell, or the chaff, it's taking something from inside to outside. Milking a cow, you're taking the milk from inside the cow to out to the cow. This is a tolda of dash, of threshing, the same malacha. It is nothing like the actual action because it goes toward the same goal. There's some level of similarity that makes it a real malacha. It's called a tolda of that malacha. So there end up being three levels. There's the avot malachot, which is the original 39 malachot used in the Mishkan. Toldot, which are a malacha but are different, and then shvut, which is a midrabanan, a rabbinic prohibition. The Torah level malachot are the avot and the toldot. Either of them, or if they are intentionally done, the person is chayav mita, there's capital punishment, or if it's an accidental, they bring a korban. The main difference is the avot were literally used for the Mishkan, and the toldot were not. Versus shvut, which is rabbinically prohibited, they're not allowed to be done, but if you do them, it's not chayav, right? It's not going to be chayav mita or korban. It's patur. It's exempt. Doesn't mean it's allowed. Mutar means allowed. Patur means exempt. It's similar to the malacha, but not actually the malacha. It detracts from Shabbat in some way, or might lead to doing a malacha. A melachet machshevet is the last category that is required for something to be a Torah level prohibition. A melachet machshevet, kind of like a craftsman or a constructive, properly done malacha, is the category that, because we're learning it from the Mishkan, they were doing a very good job at building for the Mishkan. So the action must, number one, be intentional. It has to be in purpose done, and properly done action in terms of its quality of work. It can't be done in a strange way, and it can't be done in a way that's destructive or is otherwise very shabby and whatnot. It is going to be one of the avot toldot in order to be a malacha machshevet. Obviously, it has to be the malacha to be the malacha. It has to be done in a constructive way, not a destructive way. For example, if you take ink and smear it all over the page versus writing with it, it's again not allowed, but that would be patur, exempt. And it has to be done normally. If you write with your mouth, you'd also be patur. In some situations, melachet machshevet and what's called the shinoi is going to be used to allow something in a difficult situation, such as a doctor or a chayal. but not every case. You have to consult with a Rav, a local Orthodox rabbi in each case. And one more time to remind, even if an action is not Melechet Machshevet, it does not mean it is mutar, allowed. Something that is mutar means it is just not a malacha, it is not a shrut, it is not anything. Something that is patur means it's not the official Melechet Machshevet Avot Malachot or Toldot Malachot. And a shrut, which is always going to be patur because it's rabbinic, is going to be something that's, again, not allowed. It's a sur, but it would also be patur. Those categories are going to be very important in terms of determining is something allowed or not in more difficult situations. Generally speaking, only things that are mutar are going to be allowed, and those are going to be not similar to malachot machshevet. They're obviously not the avot or toldot. They are not the midirabanan. It is important to note here and anywhere that any situation of pekuach nefesh, of danger to someone's life, all of these rules go out the window, and you're allowed to do whatever you need to do to save your life or the life of another person. That is a different kind of paradigm category. For now, in terms of the malachot and their basic definitions, these are the most important introduction points.